Good morning, good morning. So my last video was the reflections on the Pembrokeshire 23 miler. And I was in the middle of doing a huge drive around the country, and that was 2 weeks ago. So what have I been doing? Well, I've been training. I've done a couple of volunteering spots, one of which took place just down there. And I'm also getting ready for Race to the Stones. So that's what I want to bring you up to speed with. So stick with me and I'll quickly tell you about all those things. So first things first, training. Yes, I've been training, great. However, as those of you in the UK will know, we've been going through a little bit of a hot spell. Not as hot as Central Europe's been having, but hot for us. So we've been up around the late 20s, early 30 degrees Celsius, which is 80s up into 90s Fahrenheit. So I'm not very good in the heat, as you know, so I've been struggling a bit, but I've been doing what I can. And those of you who follow me on Strava will know that I have at least been keeping up with some miles. One of the big things I've been doing is what I call my undulating trails, and that's a 5-mile loop that involves some roads, some trails, with a couple of good strong hills in. It's got a big hill to start with, then some more gentle ups and downs, and then a long downhill to finish. What I've done here is I've added in an extra hill at the end that we call Hospital Lane, that is a good strong challenge, and that makes it 6 miles 10k. And this last weekend I did it twice, so that was quite good because it was a mental challenge. Normally I get to the end of undulating trails and my head tells me that's over, and I push hard on the last little bit. But here I had to make sure that I knew I was going to do it all again, including Hospital Lane right at the end, and I did, which is really good. So I'm quite pleased with the training. I haven't done big miles, I haven't done a 20-mile special, it just hasn't worked out, and I am just having to trust for Race to the Stones that the fact that I've done over 20-mile distances. We had 23 miles in Pembrokeshire, we had 26 on the Leaden Boot Challenge, 26 on the Charm Bracelet Marathon, that I've done that kind of distance. I've been out on my legs for 6, 7, 8 hours on 3 occasions in the last 4 months. So I've got to think that I've got the endurance, and I'll just need to take the running as it goes. More about that in a minute. The next thing I just wanted to mention though was the 2 volunteering spots that I did. So 10 days ago was my club's turn to host our midweek league. It was the last one of the season before the mob match. I volunteered. I was a car park marshal and then marshalled one of the checkpoints on the route. Really good day. Everybody did so well, particularly in that heat. And I think, if I remember rightly, our club is now promoted to Division 1, which we are delighted about. And I also volunteered for something called Royston in Blue. It's a charity fundraiser for Teenage Cancer Trust. Just a 5k that takes place here on the heath. My goal when I started running back in 2012 was to do that 5k run, and I really thought I'd never do it. I've run it a few times, but actually what I do is I compare, so I'm the man on the microphone. If you'd like to make your way towards the start, please. So with a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! What a wonderful sight that is! Royston in Blue 2025. It was really fantastic. Like I say, 600 people raising an amazing amount of money for Teenage Cancer Trust, and I love doing it. I've been doing it for, well, off and on for 10 years now, and it's really great. And they've asked me to commit to doing it again next year, so I'm really delighted to have accepted that. So how about the Race to the Stones then? Well, good. I think we're in good shape. So training is what it is. I can't change that. There will be running at the beginning, there will be walking at the end. At what point it switches from running to walking depends on many factors, but I think with my experience of Pembrokeshire and all the other marathon distances I've done, that will happen. and I have to make sure I fuel myself really well, and that I'm mentally prepared for when that happens. The plan is to have a gel and a Snickers or snack at least every hour. So one of those every half hour minimum, more if I want to. Also eat something substantial at the checkpoints. What about logistics? Well, the hotel is booked. I know I will drive to base camp, which is where my part of the race starts on Sunday morning. I've booked a car parking spot, and then when we get to the end of the race, assuming I do get to the end of the race, I've booked a coach place to bring me back. They're running a series of shuttle buses from the finish back to the base camp, and they run when they're full, which is about every hour and a half. So that's logistics and nutrition. What else is there to worry about? Well, I'm taking my 1.7 litre Camelback, and I'll take my cup and I will drink as I go along, obviously, at the checkpoints. How many checkpoints are there on this 50k run? 30 miles, 31 miles? Well, there's only 3 checkpoints. So you got one at about 5 miles, one at about 15, one at 24, and then one at the end. So that's quite long distances. The big kicker is the weather. The forecast has been changing, and obviously we know that long distance forecasts are notoriously difficult to be accurate with, but the closer we're getting, and today is now Monday, so it's only 6 days away, we are very confidently predicting that the temperature will get up to 30 degrees C, which is 85 Fahrenheit, by mid-afternoon. So I need to make sure I manage that. So the other thing is, how long is it actually going to take me? Charm Bracelet Marathon was 6.25 hours. The Leaden Boot Challenge was 8 hours. And then there was Pembroke, and Pembroke was 6 hours. That was only 23 miles, not 26 like the other two were. So this one being 30 miles. So I think realistically I need to plan for a 9-hour journey. I need to take 9 hours worth of snacks, and I need to take 9 hours worth of water, and then my plan is to rely on the checkpoints to top that up, and to refill water. And that's another thing, if it's going to be really sunny, I don't want to be running in a vest, because if the sun's beating down on your skin, that'll make you hot. So what I want is a short sleeve tee, I think probably, that is very breathable but will protect me from the sun to some extent. And what I might well do is take a spare one of those as well, so at the halfway point take my pack off, refill my Camelback, put a dry t-shirt on, go again. And I might well take a spare pair of socks as well, because if things are getting difficult and your feet are hurting, then a spare pair of socks can make such a difference. So logistics are sorted, the training is sorted, I've got mental prep going on. The final piece of the jigsaw is, of course, making sure that I hit that start line adequately hydrated and well enough fed. So I'm not talking about glugging down pints of water just before you run, as you know. What I will do is make sure that over the 2 or 3 days beforehand, particularly the travel day to get there, which is where I usually go wrong, I just make sure I drink an adequate amount of water, and I will have half a litre of sports drink before I start. The other one is food. People talk about carb loading. That doesn't mean a huge great plate of pasta the night before, because that'll ruin your sleep. It'll make you feel sluggish. It might give you tummy trouble. The thing to do is probably the 3 days before, make sure you eat plenty of carbs. Simple carbs, not too complex, simple carbs, to make sure that your glycogen stores are as full as possible when you hit that start line. So I should be going for more things like white rice, white pasta, whereas I normally have brown rice, brown pasta. And I will also have a flapjack or a Snickers or something like that, and a banana at the start line or before the start line, so that in addition to the porridge I'll have had for breakfast, I am as full of nutrients as I can be. So there we are. I hope you found that interesting, just the thoughts that are going through my head and what I've been up to. In 5 days time I shall be heading down south and getting ready for the run, and I've done my research, I'm ready for that, I'm really excited by it. And then that is the penultimate run of this first half of the year. The final run's that half marathon to the holy island of Lindisfarne that I'm doing the first weekend of August. But then I have booked some doozies for the rest of the year, and I'm really excited to share those with you. I'm not going to tell you now, I'm going to keep you in suspense, but one of them is at least marathon distance. It revisits an area where I've been before, but I've not actually done this particular race before, and I am so looking forward to it. Until the ultra then, thank you very much for joining me. Enjoy your running. Ta-da now.